We desire to go to Jerusalem because in the scriptures 3 times in the year you are supposed to be able to go on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem to pay your respects unto God. Why do they not want us to go to Jerusalem to take off? Our fathers in former times went in multitudes unto Jerusalem. Who is it that desires that we not go to Jerusalem to pay our respect unto the omnipotent God?
Spiritually oppressing on my people like Malachi 3:8, pass the plate, let's teach. Read the whole chapter, you pastors is like Hosea 4:6, don't forget now teach. Ezekiel 8:14, they weak for who? Who's that? The cross is a lower T for that deity. Do your research. Jeremiah 23:27. Forgot his name for Lord, sharpen my sword for the kneel to the floor, say no more repent. Y'all gotta repent. Luke 1:5, the course was Abijah. 1 Chron 24 verse 10. Now I know the birth of the Messiah. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 1 though. Mentally enslaving all my people like fair. Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people fair. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like fair. Let him go. Mentally enslaving all my people like fair. Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people fair. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like Pharaoh. Let's go. Leviticus 11, still people eating swine. Isaiah 65 verse 4, no swine. Isaiah 66 verse 3, no swine. Okay. Oh, you gonna need the New Testament, right? Matthew 5:17 through 19, listen. 2 John verse 6, this love I listen. Romans 2:13, now what? Who said? I said that. Read Exodus so we can exit this. Say Jean Bourgier, chillin', drippin' spiritual. Oppressing my people, wondering 40 years. Yahuwah is my savior and king, now listen. Yahusha means the Father is salvation. John 3:18, you see why believe. Mentally enslaving all my people like fair. Say what? Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people fair. Can't walk up in the church, tell the pastor like fair. Straight up. Mentally enslaving all my people like fair. What? Stealing from Yahuwah, oppressing my people Pharaoh. Walk up in the church, tell the pastor like Pharaoh. Let's go. You gotta have faith, but according to the Romans 9:1-5, why you lie? My flesh is of Yasharel, you better tell. ASAP, man. Psalms 83, crafty counsel I see. Got us working on Shabbat, on Sunday preaching. Psalms 91, in him I trust Yahuwah. Yeah. Okay. Deuteronomy 28, it all relates. Atlantic slave trade back in Egypt now. 2 Kings 17, 5-19. Continue to read though. Romans 11, don't boast up, listen. As we return, this fire burns in me. Yeah, Baruch atah Yahuwah Avinu, translate that. Hebrew, I mean.
But if the trumpet does blow, we are concerned and we are troubled. But let all the inhabitants of the world know we're not afraid. Stay in your places. Do not leave the village of peace.
Shalom, shalom. Hope everybody had a blessed Shabbat. Myself, I got a lot of rest. I've been a busy man. I'm restoring the house right now. So I've been working, man. I've been working my ass off. But the things that transpire over the week, man, it's just been like, it's a lot going on here, man, with this Charlie Kirk. Now, I've been watching this dude for about a year now. I've been watching him on TikTok. And when he talked, I cringed, because he everything he had to say, about a black person, it was like, wow, for somebody to be on TV or, social media, just saying the things that he said, and we're going to get into it with some videos or whatever that, he's in. But, I just used to cringe like, man, I can't believe this dude saying this, just outright blatantly like this, and wasn't really nobody checking him, It seemed like he had, a certain type of person that he was debating all the time. I don't think he would have no real people get up there like the Hebrew Israelites, and challenge everything that he was saying about our people. It wasn't nothing good. He even stooped down low to be like, it was better that we was in slavery. And it's like, damn, for real, I don't, they don't surprise me. A lot of things that we see. You're right about that, Linzel, man. Because it took me a minute to come up with a thumbnail title, man, and a title, in itself. Because I'm like, they gonna mess around and, flag me or something, or, you know what I'm saying? You got to watch what you say, man. But, chickens come home to roost. You know what I'm saying, man? I don't, a lot of people been getting a lot of flack about, saying things about this man. Charleston White, they trying to get him up out of there. A lot of people got fired from their jobs. The dude on, I forget, it's either a basketball team or a football team where he spoke out, saying something about this man, and he got fired. I forgot who it was. If y'all know who it was, y'all let me know in the chat, though. But they firing people, man. I mean, it's, like, a lot going on, man. My cousin, he called me out of California, and he was like, "Who is Charlie Kirk?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm very familiar with this dude. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching him for a long time." And he was like, "Well, yeah, man, I just got a ticket." And when he said I got a ticket, I said, "Man, who asked you then, whoop?" First thing came out my mouth. I said, "Who asked?" Without even knowing what even happened, I said, who asked you what? And he was like, you know what I'm saying, these two white tees or whatnot. That came out. He was coming out of McDonald's or some restaurant or something like that, man. And and they was like, I'm tired of this shit, these niggers and this and that, and you know what I'm saying, my cousin, he heard that. So he think, they talking about him, and next thing led to another thing. My cousin, he took care of his business, man. I'm just gonna say that, man. But that's what I said, man. It's bringing a lot of attention by this man, getting assassinated. But the thing about it, it wasn't, like a organization or a group of people or, you know what I'm saying, a nation of people. It was his own kind. It was one man who did it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what's behind it, though, because um, you got to think about it. You know, it's more to it than that man reasons of doing what he did. And that's just what I believe. You know what I'm saying? I can't I can't overlook, you know what I'm saying, as far as people in high places. You know, um, it's hey man, I can't, you know. Let's just get to some videos, man, because I don't want to say the wrong thing, man. I appreciate that too, Linzel, man. Shalom, by the way, too, man. Shalom to, you know, the people that's up in the chat. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Let's see. But I want to start off with this one video, and I'm gonna be stopping and, you know, like giving my opinion on this video. It's this guy, I think he's a Muslim or whatever, and he stay on America ass, man. He stay on their ass and, you know, pull his skirt up on them and let them know what type of people that we dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he get them the business. But let's go ahead and get into this video. And again, you know, I'll be stopping it, giving my opinion or whatever, you know. So, you know, y'all bear with me, man.
To talk about this boy, Charlie Kirk, who got shot in Utah. Him getting shot in Utah makes him, I believe, American number 18,533 who got shot in the U.S. this year, shot and killed. And I think that there were 3 more.
Yeah, hey, Linzel, I seen that, man. I seen it was 2 guys making signals or whatnot. And I'm like, man, that look, it was a whole lot of things that was going on. It's like you got to wonder, man, like what the hell is going on right now? You know, just like they said when he got shot, his ring finger went to his pinky finger. You know, another thing, they saying that the bullet ricocheted off of his vest and hit him in the neck. I didn't even know he had a vest on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and with that, I'm thinking, why he got to wear a vest? Like, what is he wearing a vest for? I didn't get that part right there. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody had been making death threats to him before, you know, and, you know, for security reasons or whatnot, they got him wearing a vest. But yeah, man, it's a whole lot of strange things that's going on with this, you know, assassination or whatnot. But let's get back to this. I'm gonna rewind that back, man, because he said something that was important, man.
I'm going to talk about this boy, Charlie Kirk, who got shot in Utah. Him getting shot in Utah makes him, I believe, American number 18,533 who got shot in the U.S. this year, shot and killed. And I think that there were 3 more people who were killed, shot and killed in Colorado, just over the mountains, within hours of his shooting. And all the flags in America are going to fly half-mast, not for those 18,335 other victims, but they're going to fly half-mast for Charlie Kirk. That's just an observation. You can do with it what you will. I'll be honest, when I first heard that he had been shot, I made a joke about it on X.
And why is these people making jokes about him, you know, dying or whatnot? Is it because of some of the things that he said? Maybe, right? Maybe, but you know, he said a lot of things, man. Like, you know, I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, when I used to watch the videos of him, man, I would sit there and watch and like, I can't believe that this stuff is coming out this man's mouth. But it's showing who he is, right? And we know that the Most High, he created these people to be who they are. He created these people to hate Israel, right? But let's get back to it.
because frankly, I'm just as used to theatrics coming out of America as I am used to gun violence coming out of America, and I thought that theatrics seemed more likely in this case. But when I did learn that he died, I deleted my post. I deleted it out of respect, not for him, but for the severity and for the solemnity of the judgment that he has now proceeded to. Because everything that he ever said and everything that he ever did that harmed anyone, well, he's going to answer for that. He's going to answer for that right now in his meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the heaviness of that meeting is disturbing to any of us who believe in it. But we'll talk about it. Let's start with the obvious, okay? First, I'm not going to feign grief or feign mourning for this person. I know.
Right there. My man said he not about to mourn or he not about to grieve. Peep out what he say after that, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's just listen to what he got to say, man.
That's a hypocrisy that social etiquette demands at a moment like this. But we all know that he would certainly not grieve for us. He certainly would not mourn for us, just as he never grieved and he never mourned for the wanton slaughter of the Palestinians in Gaza. He never grieved for that. And for myself personally, as a Muslim and as a critic of Western so-called civilization, I know that Charlie Kirk himself would most likely have officially anyway considered me to be his enemy. And as far as I'm concerned, any man whose enemy mourns him when he dies, well, he wasn't doing his job.
Right there. That's powerful right there. You mourning your enemy. You mourning your enemy, then you ain't doing your job. Seriously though, it's like our people don't know who the enemy is. Matter of fact, our people think that their own people is their enemy. You know what I'm saying? But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than, you not liking somebody of your own kind. What about the people that don't like you just because, your skin color, your hair texture or whatnot? You have to really think about as far as, and I'm trying to gather my thoughts, y'all. You got to think about you mourning your enemy. Like what type of, where is that in the Bible? Just like in the Bible it says, love your enemy. It's talking about the people of your own nation. It's not talking about the other people, the other nations or whatnot, because that'd be a contradiction. As far as, thus said the Lord. He not finna mourn his own enemy. I mean, who does that, man? But that's what lets us know that, you know what I'm saying, we've been brainwashed. A lot of our people are asleep. If you read the comments in some of these videos that's been showed on Facebook about Charlie Kirk, then you'll be like, damn, our people is really asleep. They don't know what the hell is going on. Again, this man said, he wouldn't mourn if his people was taken out or whatever. And we know for sure with our people, this man, he didn't never mourn for none of our people, man. He talked about George Floyd. He talked about other people or whatever. He even said the fact that black people, take out other people more than anybody. Black people commit crime more than anybody. Black people are the most that are in prison. And it's like, man, like, where did we get these statistics from? Like, he wrong, man. But let's continue on with what he's saying.
And I don't think it can be said about Charlie Kirk that he didn't do his job, which is to say that he never did anything and he never said anything in his public life that would make me mourn his passing, just as I hope that I will never say or do anything in my public life that would make my enemies grieve for my passing. They should be happy when I die. Enemies are disturbed by each other's presence, not by each other's absence. But let me also be crystal clear about this. It doesn't make me happy either. I neither mourn nor celebrate. Neither of those reactions is appropriate, in my opinion. Whoever pulled that trigger didn't do it for me, and they didn't do it for you. I don't even see them as being on two different sides. They didn't silence Charlie Kirk. They amplified Charlie Kirk. The power structure never cared about that boy. They used him. And he's more useful to them now than he was the day before. He's more useful to them dead than he was alive. Listen, you don't defeat someone like this, someone like a Charlie Kirk, a tool like him, by letting that tool mold you into exactly what they want you to be. That killer didn't deliver justice. If you think they did, he didn't. He delivered to the power structure an even more enhanced weapon. He made a mediocre, but dangerous and polarizing figure, Charlie Kirk, into now an impeachable icon for the very fan base that he most likely despises. And he made criticism of Charlie Kirk's ideas. Now it's disrespect for the dead. This is not resistance. This is a gift. This is a gift to the very security state that he probably thought he was attacking. No, it's stupidity. Or maybe, as the conspiracy theories are already speculating, what actually happened was just a purge of an expendable asset to create a more powerful symbol. Oh, they'll use his death. Oh, how they will use it. They will use his death to paint every dissenting voice, every cry for a more just world. They'll paint it with the same bloody brush. They're going to use his death to avoid, once again, ever having to look in the mirror. They're going to hold Charlie Kirk's body up as a shield against any examination of the society that created him. And the society that created his killer. The society that they made and that they rule, and you didn't do anything now but strengthen their hold on that society. They're going to use his corpse as a pulpit to preach from. And you just validated all the lies that they're going to be preaching. You understand me? Because listen, the truth is the Charlie Kirks of the world are not the enemy. The enemy is the society, it's the system, it's the power structure, it's the so-called civilization that creates boys like Charlie Kirk.
Man, let's talk about the system, man, that create these, type of people. And this man, he said a mouthful, man. I know he Muslim or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He's of the other nations, but y'all know the Most High, he deal with people, he had people, to do his will or whatever. And as far as this system, not only did this system create, people like Charlie Kirk, but it also created the so-called Negro that's out of control. A lot of things that we learned from them. We learned from them. So, again, it's the system. But let's get back to it.
I call him a boy because that's what he is to me. I'm 54 years old. That's what he is to me, or that's what he was. And also because he presented a childish, simplistic cartoon portrait of America that only a young boy could ever believe in. He presented an America without complexity, without guilt, without the burden of their terrible history. Well, that's a seductive product. And America has always been an eager market for that sort of a product. He existed because of supply and demand. You demand and the power structure supplies. The killer and the killed are the products of the same sick society. Kirk and his killer, and the other 18,535 victims and their killers. And wallahi, if you don't clock this reality, if you don't understand this reality, and if you let yourself get swept up in all the narratives and all the counter-narratives, then you might just end up being like one of them, on one side or the other side of that gun. Because the machine is already spinning. The machine, that same machine that Charlie Kirk served so faithfully.
And let's look at some other videos, as far as what came out this man's mouth and some of the things that, he was saying about mostly black people. Anytime I seen the video, it was about black people. So let's get into this video here.
I'm sorry if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that? And the data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. Yeah, DEI stands for one of the biggest. Didn't earn it, just so we're clear.
Can we also acknowledge, due to the laws under Jim Crow, that black people were significantly hindered from economic advancement?
This is a really important question. The data shows not really. Black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s. The disappearance of the black father has been the #1 driver of black poverty in this country. We at least agree that black dads not being around is a bad thing.
Anyone's father not being around is a bad thing. Starting in the 1980s and continuing onward, there's been a war on drugs. Is this correct?
I like the war on drugs. Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. That's not a war on drugs, that's a culture problem. Why are so many blacks committing murders outside of their population? So we've spent $20 trillion on uplifting black communities, $20 trillion, and black Americans are poor. Food stamps, subsidized housing, Medicaid, public schooling, subsidized college. We're talking about $20 trillion that has been spent on the Great Society, and yet black America is poorer, more murderous, more dangerous.
Part of equity.
What is equity?
And you know, this is the stuff that I was listening to from this man for about a whole year. But he say we do the most everything, basically, you know. But that's a lie from the pits of hell, man. Like, how can he get on here and say that and you know what I'm saying, double down and say that we was better off in the 1940s? Or, you know what I'm saying, he even said that we was better off during slavery because at that time it wasn't that much crime or whatever being committed and murders and all that stuff. Really? Okay, so if we wasn't doing the crime or, you know, wasn't unaliving people, then who was doing it? Because I know we was getting unalived at these times. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong now. And for him to sit up and say that, man, it's like, you know, these people, they think they real smart. They think they real intelligent and educated and all that stuff. But you really look into these people, man, and you can see their horns. Their horns is out. You know what I'm saying? This man, he kept his horns out. But let's get back to the video of the first dude, the Muslim dude.
They're spinning the narrative now. They're going to label him as a martyr for free speech, a victim of left-wing extremism. And they're going to use his death, they're going to use it to demand more surveillance, more censorship, more policing, more militarization of the police against their opponents, you know, more police powers. They're going to use his blood to sanitize his ideology and to legitimize every poisonous thing that he ever said.
He said they're going to legitimize every poison word that he said. And also, they're going to censor. They're going to use his death to censor people. Just like, you know, Brother Lindsay warned us about, you know, watching what we say. Yeah, it's already starting. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I guess it's not, you know, where somebody gonna come get you or, you know, they could take your channel down. They could take you off Facebook. You know what I'm saying? They can do a whole lot of things, you know, and this is just the more of them pushing this agenda to do this stuff. You know, as far as to shut people up, or you can't say that, or this gonna happen to you, or that's gonna happen to you. But yeah, I don't think that it was just one person that did this. That was behind it. Let me say that. I know it was probably one person that did it, but I don't think it was one person that was behind this. I just don't believe it. you know, without knowing any facts or evidence or anything like that. I just know better. I know where I live. You know what I'm saying? The United States of America. You know, I know their history, and that's all. This guy right here. That's all he know is their history. So he going off of their history. He don't have no evidence or, you know what I'm saying, no facts and stuff like that about this situation. But he know America history, and that's good enough for me. But let's get back to him. Shalom, brother Araya. Good to see you up in here.
And some of you are out here cheering about what happened. Why, you're fools. Why, when you celebrate, all you do is elevate and strengthen their narrative. Charlie Kirk was not an outlier. He was a product. He was the logical output of a system that's designed to generate exactly what he was. Like I said, he didn't create the demand. The demand was already there. He just exploited it. He sold a fantasy, like I say, a fantasy where all of the problems of modern America, economic decay, economic despair, cultural displacement, and cultural unrest, political powerlessness, these are all not the inevitable results of late-stage capitalism in a dying empire. No. It's all the fault of immigrants. It's all the fault of minorities, of wokeism. Some internal enemy that's not in power. Well, now he's been killed. And his death is going to be used to service that same system. The security state benefits, the politicians that he supported benefit, the media benefits because they get endless hours now of content, of debate, of fear-mongering, of polarization mining. You understand me? The entire apparatus of control gets a massive boost. His killing was not an attack on the system. It was a gift to the system. You didn't extinguish a fire, you just scattered the embers and made it more dangerous. The individual who pulled that trigger, their motives are irrelevant. It doesn't matter if they saw themselves as a revolutionary or they saw themselves as a vigilante. Their actions serve a deeply counter-revolutionary purpose. You understand me? You didn't help Muslims. You didn't help so-called minorities. You didn't help immigrants. You didn't help women. You didn't help anyone. All you did was exactly what they created Charlie Kirk to goad you into doing. Please understand me. You contributed now. Whoever did this contributed to exactly the climate that they created Charlie Kirk to create. No.
Wow. I want to get into another video of how people, you know, freaking out about this dude getting unalive. And man, they're going crazy, man. I'm talking about, man. Y'all should see this dude here, man. I'm about to bring up. Man, this dude is red, man. He turned red. Peep it out. He turned red, y'all. Let's get into this video, though.
Oh, shit, I've never been so pissed in my whole life. They just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving in a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it.
Oh my gosh.
They're both servants of chaos.
Man, my man was pissed. He was, I mean, he was saying he was going to be the next president. I didn't even know this dude was 31 years old, man. He looked a hell of a lot older than 31. I got goddamn kids that's in their 30s or whatever. That's 31. I think it's like 31. Yeah, both of my boys 31. But yeah, man, they losing it around here. I was somewhere yesterday, coming from, you know, working or whatnot, and it was, man, it looked like, man, it probably was like, God damn, it was a lot. I ain't seen a lot of people like that in a long time. But it looked like it probably was about 200 people at some park or whatever where they was doing a memorial service for this dude. I've been hearing that, or I've been seeing on videos of them doing memorial services for this dude, and man, they putting the beat down on some people. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of, well, so you got some people out there that's, you know, mocking his death, and y'all know how these whiteys is or whatever, YTs is. You can't talk about somebody, especially if they've been harmed, you know, or lost their life or whatnot. You can't talk about these people because they can't take it, you know. Which on the other hand, they'll talk about us, you know. He deserved it, and you know, they say all the derogatory things about us, and you know, if we didn't resist, you know, he should have resisted. He got what he deserved and all that stuff, man. It's like, you know, somebody stealing, like, just because somebody stole something, they deserve to get, you know, taken out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, these people, man, they showing their horns, man. They are showing their horns. I got more videos though. This is the opposition though. This is the people, his own people that, you know, was against things that he was saying. And these people, you know, they probably from the LGBTQ community or whatever, because in this video I see a flag in the background and whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, and this man, he talked about, you know, the gays and you know, homosexuals or whatnot. You know, he wasn't having it with that. But let's look at this video.
Wait, Erica, did you just say that Charlie Kirk spread love and positivity into this world? Did you just actually get on national television and say that shit? I mean, the delusion is fucking diabolically mind-boggling. You can't... What? If that dude spread love and positivity, then what the fuck did John Lennon, MLK Jr. spread? Malcolm X, what did they spread? My God, I'm living in a place where delusion is running fucking wild. What the hell is wrong with people?
All right, Brother Araya, he just put up some, which I was talking about in the beginning of the live. Brother Araya said people getting fired left and right, posting stuff on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, that's what I said. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people getting fired from their jobs. I have yet to see somebody, I guess, getting put in Facebook jail, getting a YouTube channel taken away from them. I haven't, you know, witnessed any of that. But these people getting fired, though, yeah, it's a lot of people getting fired. So, you know, right now, you got to watch what you say, you know, especially about this situation here. Because, again, they trying to make examples and trying to set things up as far as to where you can't really say nothing or speak on nothing. You can't have your opinion. You can't have your freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech, that was out of here a long time ago, man. Long time ago. But let's get some more things that he said, you know, the debates he was doing and stuff like that. And I'll be back.
Do black people commit more crimes than white people? It's not even close.
Okay. But you have to take into account the culture that has been perpetuated.
Okay, got it. So we can agree on this. Do you mean internal black culture?
It's not. It's deeper than that. Like,
do you think? Let's take time out. Do you think the average rap artist that a black kid in the hood is listening to is glorifying marriage and family and saving your money?
that's what sells because it's a culture thing. It's not just within the black community.
I agree.
White people
No,
listen to it.
but hold on.
Everyone listens to it. It's not
No,
just isolated.
It's bad for everyone who listens to it. The point being is that black youth, as they are being raised, their role models are largely not glorifying staying with one woman, getting married, going to church. And if you're wrong, show me the black role models that are doing that. There might be a couple I could think of, maybe. But if it's about culture, you're right. The internal black culture has collapsed the last 60 years.
Hey. All right, now, as y'all see, look, I'm live. You hear me? I'm live. Okay, but y'all, I'm sorry about that. That's my baby girl. She love her daddy. But you talk about the culture, and you know, I like to say, I like to say, as far as, you know, black people, we don't have a culture. We are reliving somebody else's culture. And what I mean by that, when I say that, is, you know how all these gangs around, you know, you got the different gangs, the sets and all that stuff. Well, if you really look at it and you go back, let's go back to Buzzard Siegel's, Lucky Luciano, what else? The Mob. You know what I'm saying? You go back to them days, they the one who started that. You know, black people, they copied it. Right? They was more, you know what I'm saying? They was more, what words can I use? They was more treacherous with they gang banging and all that stuff. Let's not forget the police. They are gang bangers. That's just the gang. That's all it is, right? Brother Lindsay said, let me put his post up right quick. Brother Lindsay said, our community is pushing marriage equality. Right, exactly, yeah. We are pushing marriage, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I got another channel where I speak about marriage, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to lay down with a woman, don't make her a whore. You should marry that woman. Because once you done with her, what you think she going to do? She going to go off and she going to be with the next man. And he probably do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, it's as far as in the Hebrew Israelite community, we push marriage. You know what I'm saying? Don't make our women whores. Don't play them like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it too. If you got a daughter, you know, I got one daughter, and I thought that I'd never have no daughter. You know what I'm saying? But I would feel a certain type of way if somebody played my daughter like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably be ready to do something to somebody. Because I know her feelings would be hurt. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know that situation or whatever. You know, we probably all been there at one point in time. I know I have. You know what I'm saying? I've slept with women and I knew I didn't want to be with them after that. I just wanted that and okay, leave me alone now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Leah, you got to be quiet. Sorry about that, y'all. But, again, we don't have a culture. Our culture, we have a culture, but we don't follow our culture. Our culture is the Bible. So, you know, I want to take that back as far as me saying that we don't have a culture. We went away from our culture. Our culture is the Bible. And our people don't want to follow the Bible. They want to follow society. They want to follow the world. They don't want to follow their culture. But let's look at something else, because that was deep right there, man. That was deep. Let's get the brother Phil on here and see what he got to say.
Like Charlie Kirk and those who think like him believe all white environments is safety. And what happened to Charlie Kirk has destroyed that ideology about all white enclave is safety. Because what they try to say is, well, the reason why we don't want to be around the blacks, that's us, the blacks, is because they're going to do us something and we're not safe. Well, Charlie Kirk wasn't around the blacks when that happened. Okay? So it's safe to say that maybe, just maybe, your issue isn't the blacks because you don't live around the blacks at all. You live in your own enclaves because the blacks aren't in Utah. That reason alone, I wouldn't be there because I am not. Y'all know my rule. If it's not at least 10% or more black people in the area, I have to be concerned. The violence, Charlie Kirk said gang violence, and it was not gang violence. It was one of his own that did that. I don't care what side they on, whether it's liberal or conservative, and I'm going to tell my people, stay away from them conservative events, stay away from them liberal events. We need to stick to black events because they're going to go crash out, and I don't want my people in the midst of that.
Hey, that's some good advice right there. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be 100 miles near one of these events that they doing or whatever. And I look at my people, and see them out there and be like, what the hell is wrong with y'all, man? Like, y'all really blind out here, for real. It's like, ain't no talking to them. You try to talk to our people and they turn on you like it's something wrong with you or you racist or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, y'all just don't get it. The Most High is definitely not dealing with these people. Some of our people. But I feel safer around my own people. I'm for separation. You know what I'm saying? It's, when I got into the truth, that's what I was. I was for separation. But before the truth, I was love everybody. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? But all praise to the Most High that He woke me up. Because I can be one of these, docile or unknowledgeable spirits or whatnot that could have been on me. But again, all praise to the Most High. Let's get another video. I got a ton of these videos, y'all. Okay, let's look at this one.
So police have arrested the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing. He's facing at least 3 felony charges, including aggravated murder. The suspect, Tyler James Robinson, is a 22-year-old Utah resident. He allegedly confessed to shooting Kirk to a family member who told a family friend who contacted police. During the investigation, police said they found a bolt-action hunting rifle with a scope and bullet casings inscribed with a bunch of phrases. The suspected shooter was not enrolled in Utah Valley University, where the killing took place. Charlie Kirk was a close ally to President Trump and a prominent conservative voice. We want to hear your thoughts on this and on political violence in America. If you want to share with us in more than just the comment section, we have a link to a Washington Post forum on our.
So yeah, I wanted to, if y'all didn't see the suspect, and some of the things that was said about him, as far as him having different messages or comments on the bullets and the guns and stuff like that, and again, this can be all, what do they call that? This can all be, as far as them just putting stuff out there you know, for people to believe, but it's not true. You know, they horns again. They horns is coming out. It's working. It's showing. So we don't know. They can be lying about this. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta okay, red herring. All right. Okay. That's what I want to say. Let's look at another video, man. Is this one it? Okay, I think it's this one right here.
A black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. The Civil Rights Act was a mistake. More cops should be around your neighborhood. Why do blacks have a broken family? White person were to come up and say, you know, black America really needs to get its act together and stop sleeping around all the time and needs to actually have monopoly.
Why would you?
Because it's true. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Black America is worse than it has been in the last 80 years. What percentage of young blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them? Of course we pandered to blacks. They're in every TV commercial. And they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Things got worse since the Civil Rights Act. More violent, less fathers around, poorer.
Why are we making racist jokes?
Well, look, it's a comedian that was put up on stage.
Yeah,
what do you expect? But I mean, man, can you take a joke?
You should be kissing the ground with gratitude, because you're right. You are not in Africa, and you should be thankful you're not in Africa. Certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. It's now become a racial complaining day. BLM, and remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. America is poorer today than before we tried to start to help them. Black women married the government and divorced the men that they were once with.
Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday.
Half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crime. They commit more murders. They commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. It's not a profiling when it comes to that. Blacks are far more likely to commit crimes than any other group. See a black pilot, you wonder, boy, is that person there because they earned it or because they were placed there? When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous. Death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. Black culture has collapsed the last 60 years. Systemic racism stuff is a bunch of rubbish. Instead, it's systemic bad choices.
Do you feel that systemic racism isn't real?
Of course not.
How do you feel about the black community receiving reparations?
I'm against that. Yeah.
With the George Floyd protests,
Riots. We have a supply and demand issue with racism in our country. We have an incredibly low supply of racism and an incredible demand to try to fulfill it. So we've created racism where it doesn't exist.
When I was being schooled, we have spent an entire month on slavery. Totally get it. Terrible thing. But we spent so little time on the brilliance of the founders and what they've created. And
is it about contemplating the good, the true, and the beautiful, or is it about being a gangbanger and trying to get as much money and sleep with as many girls? Time for us to stop listening to rap music and this degenerate hip-hop stuff.
Can you clarify your definition of critical race theory?
Call everything racist till you control it. And we decided to basically usher in the Civil Rights Act as a new anti-racist dogma, creed, and I find something fundamentally wrong with that.
what would you say is the biggest non-issue that people make out to be a massive issue?
Okay, great. So I would say, it's not a surprise what I would say, racism.
Now, man, there's a lot of things that he said, but I want to read Brother Linzel's comment. He said, we learned from you. And you're right. I just talked about that. We learned from them. Right? He talked about the rap music and, you know, the hip hop music and stuff like that. Now, if they wanted to, now this is just, if they wanted to now, you know, if they wanted to, they can censor this rap music. You know, they can take this rap music down, or they can, you know, like ban it. It's something they can do about it, right? But they don't want to do nothing about it because it was their agenda. to create these rappers, and you know what I'm saying? These not just rappers, but, and I'm trying to watch what I'm saying, y'all. You know, it's my mind all over the place right now. But these rappers and these LGBTQ dudes, you know what I'm saying, putting them up in the forefront for us to want to be like these dudes, and you know, want to do whatever they want to do as far as being a homosexual and all that stuff. You know, it's like, come on, man. That's what I said. When I watch this stuff, man, it just angers me, man. You know, and then he talk about the black family being broke up. Who broke the black family up? Who did that? The United States government did that. They know what they was doing. They study us. They just don't just put stuff out there, you know what I'm saying? They think and gather together to see what they can do to try to destroy us. And a lot of things that they did have destroyed us. But we all know what that comes from. You know, and we got to look at it as the Most High, he did this to us. He allowed them to do this because it was prophesied that we would be destroyed. Hosea 4:6. And that's why I believe in this Bible. Because as a people, we are destroyed. I mean, wherever you at, you know what I'm saying, Brother Lindsay or Brother Arai, you know, in y'all cities and whatnot, you know, y'all see all this stuff going on with our people, the manner of our people, the things that our people do to our own people, to our own selves. Man, this was a lot here, though. You know what I'm saying, as far as listening to this dude, and you know, some of the stuff I didn't see. I'm just not seeing. You know, but hey, I'm like dude on here. You know what I'm saying? Even though he of another nation, I don't, you know, rock with dude or nothing like that. I'll just watch him. I'll just watch him and, you know, get a lot of information from him and whatnot. Brother Lindsay said, all of our first rappers used to rap about oppression and the conditions of our people. Exactly, man. I had that in my mind, but I had switched to something else. But I was going to say that, though. You know, like self-destruction. We headed to self-destruction. What is that? Stop the violence in the West Coast. KRS-One. Goddamn, all them rappers, man, I used to listen to back in the day or whatnot, man. You know, I'm familiar with these rappers because I'm 51 years old. So I know, you know what I'm saying? I used to listen to that a lot. You know, but I didn't hear the message. I didn't pay attention to the message. You know, but again, just like Brother Lindsay said, the first rappers was talking about our conditions, the oppression, all that stuff. You had who was that? Public Enemy, you know, with Flavor Flav and Chuck D. They was going in, man. Man. Oh, man. I'm glad you brought that up, though, man, because, again, they came with, you know, the NWA, you know, all these other groups that came after them or whatnot, man, that had us out here on some, we don't care about our brother. he ain't my brother, right? But it's my time, y'all. I appreciate y'all, stopping through or whatnot. Y'all keep the commandments. Most High willing, I'll be here next week. Because we know something going to happen. We just know something going to happen, man. It never fails or whatnot. But y'all stay prayed up, man. Again, appreciate y'all for stopping through. Brother Araya, Brother Linzel, I appreciate y'all. Anybody else was in the chat that didn't comment, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the replay game. And with that being said, I'm going to go and get up out of here, y'all. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, through His Son, Yahweh Shah. See y'all next week, Most High willing. Peace.